Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to unbox a SSD from Crucial. This SSD is not available in India and we have imported this SSD from United States. So we are going to unbox this today. If you like the video, please share it with your friend. So this is the SSD from Crucial. This is a 1 TB SSD Gen 4 NVMe. This SSD is particularly comes with a heatsink, which is very good. Otherwise, we have to buy another heatsink for our SSD. And if you are going to use this in PS5, that will make a very much helpful for your PS5 games and the boot up speed. As you can see the box, it looks like a very good maintained, and there are a lot of instruction given on the box itself how to install the SSD. There is a box with PlayStation 5. So this is not the official PlayStation 5 SSD which comes from WB Black. So this is the alternative of WB Black, and I guess this will help us get the games running smoothly in our PlayStation 5. This comes with 7300 Mbps speed, and this is a ready plug-and-play SSD from Crucial. So let's unbox this and we will see how the performance looks like. So this SSD comes with the heatsink, as I have mentioned. There is a SSD. There is a manual how to install the SSD in your PS5 or your computer. We don't need the box, we will throw this box. So this is the SSD from Crucial. So this comes with the very good packaging. As you can see, this is the SSD with the heatsink. This heatsink, you cannot remove it, as I have mentioned in my description, because this is inbuilt from Crucial, and if you want to remove, there is a lot of hassle to remove this SSD. As you can see, there is some instruction which is mentioned on the back of the SSD. It comes with 1 terabyte of space, and it's a Gen 4 NVMe SSD with 7800 Mbps speed. So this is the PlayStation 5. We have imported this particular PlayStation 5 from United States, so we wanted to see how the functions and anything different which we get from the United States. It's a plain PlayStation 5 1 terabyte version. We have got another controller for this from United States. I will do the overview for this product as well. We have ordered another headset from Razer. We have also ordered another controller which is black for this PlayStation, and it works really well. So to install the SSD, it's very simple. The Sony itself has completely kept the unboxing and how to install the SSD. There is a bracket inside. There is a space inside where you can install the SSD from. So to open this particular flap, you just have to lift this part from here, and then you have to push it down. So this is how the flap opens, and once we keep the flap away, this is how the PlayStation 5 looks like from the inside. There is this fan for the to maintain the heat inside. This is where the SSD is, where it is going to get installed. So as you can see, there is a screw down there. We just have to unscrew it, and then we have to open this particular flap, and then there is a space to install the SSD inside. Okay, once we unscrew this, we just have to take out the screw, and we just have to lift this part from. Once this part is lifted, as you can see, there's another screw down here. So this screw is to set your SSD on these particular holes. As you can see, we have our SSD which is going to fit this way. So we just have to use this edge to align our SSD, and we have to screw that particular part. It is not necessary to do this, but if you want to just keep your SSD stable inside the PlayStation 5, so we have to do this particular part along with the screw and screwing inside the holes. Okay, once we unscrew this particular screw from where it was placed, then we have to keep the screw aside and we have our SSD ready to install. So the SSD goes like from where you can see the name is. So we have to install, and we have to be very careful to install this SSD because there are chances of getting this SSD damaged if you uninstall it incorrectly. So once you have your SSD, just hold it like this. If you just don't have to do anything. You just have to slide this SSD in that particular place, and once you hear a sound, you see that once you hear the sound, that means the SSD has installed, and you just have to unscrew. You just have to screw this particular screw from where you have take it out, and we have to just install it here. So we have to screw this particular part so that your SSD stays in a place once you install it. Okay, so now we have installed our SSD. We have screwed it back so that our SSD doesn't move. So another plate which which we have to install it again. So if you could see, there is this notch which we have to put here, and we have to place it. Then once you have placed it, then there is the screw which we have taken out. We just have to install the screw, and we are ready to put the flag back. Okay, once the screw is installed, you've kept your SSD inside. The another step is to put back the flap. Once you put back the flap, you just have to press it back. So that means if you hear the voice, that means that your PlayStation has been sealed back. Let's plug in, see how the SSD looks like, what speed we get, and what storage we get. Okay, so once we install the SSD, as you can see on the screen, it says to use your M2 SSD, you need to format it. When you format your M2 SSD, all data on this will be deleted. If you want to continue using your PS5 without formatting M2 SSD, turn off your PS5, then remove your M2 SSD. Note that save data, screenshot, and video clips can't be saved in M2 SSD. Okay, so it says that we cannot have our videos which we take from our recordings and which we save games data. It won't be saved on the M2 SSD which we have installed. To use this SSD, we always format the SSD because there is no data as of now in the SSD because it's a new SSD. But to use this SSD, we have to format the SSD so that it can read, the PlayStation can read the SSD and we can start using the SSD. So we just click on the format and it formats the SSD within a second. Okay, so it says the read speed of your M2 SSD as follows. If you're expecting problem while playing a game, install M2 SSD storage. Try installing it in again on the console storage. Okay, as of now, if you could see, the read speed is 6037 Mbps. So that says on the box itself, they have mentioned that it gives around 7800 read speed. But due to some hardware and some software which is installed in the PS5, it doesn't allow to go beyond 6037 Mbps. So hopefully if we install particular SSD in our laptops and computer, it gives us that much of speed from the RAM itself, and it will give us a good speed when you're copying your data into your SSD. So once we have OK, it says your M2 SSD has been formatted. To change where game are installed, go to settings, storage, installation location. To safely remove your M2 SSD, turn off your PS5 first. To always, if you want to remove your SSD, turn off your PS5 and then you take it out your SSD. So once we click OK, it rebuilds the data storage and our PS5 works as charming as always. Let's see what our speed for this SSD looks like. To check, we have to go to settings. We will go to the storage and then the M2 SSD. If you could see, now we have around 1.01 terabytes, which is good. Now we have another 1 TB installed in our PS5, which we can use to download more games, which we can use to save our recordings and to play some games which we are going to get. Because if you could see, the Call of Duty itself is around 250 gigabytes. That's a huge game. To install games like Call of Duty, then we need to have another storage installed in our PS5, because it gives a speed and it gives a lot of another loading time screens and everything. So if you could see, we will install another game which is from our PS5 collection. For that, we need to go to the store and we will just install another free game to see how the speed looks like. First, we need to go to settings, storage, M2 SSD. Then we have another space available. Then if you could see the installation location, then we will select the M2 SSD. This is where the games are going to get installed, and we will install another game from the PlayStation, which will be a free game. Okay, then we have this game which is free to play. Let's see how much time does it takes and how easily or how fast the game gets loaded. Okay, as you can see, we have successfully installed our game, which is the Jensen, and we will see how the game loads up. And okay, so to give you some more information about this game, it's a 100 GB game, and we have successfully installed this game to our PS5 on the new SSD. So I guess the reading speed does its job and it looks very good. I mean, even though speed is not as per what they have mentioned on the box. So let's see. So this is the Fortnite we have moved to. We have moved this to a Fortnite to our new SSD. Let's see how fast this loads. Okay, it does the job really well, because I remember when I was playing this game on my regular SSD storage, it used to take a fraction of seconds to load. Now it's loading much faster. That's it. That's how the SSD looks, and it gives you another storage to your PS5. Now we have another 1 terabyte of storage to our PS5, so we can install another 10 to 15 games if they are somewhere near 100 GB, or let's say another lesser than 100 GB. So we can install. We are waiting for GTA 6, which is going to get released by the year end or maybe 2025. So hopefully that game comes somewhere between 200 to 300 GB, because that is going to be a huge game to play. Onwards the map, we will keep you updated over the GTA, how the graphics and everything is gonna look like. We are going to have another video on the GTA 6 maps, how the maps are gonna look like, what character are we going to play. So let's hope we get some good news about GTA 6, and I'll see you on the next one. Let's hope we have this SSD installed, which is in our PS5. We get another 5 years of warranty on the SSD, for which is the international warranty. We can have this claim. The warranty can claim in anywhere in the region. So it is not like it's an imported SSD. We cannot claim the warranty. It gives you another international 5 years of warranty. Let's hope we don't get upset. We don't get any bad results from the SSD. I'll keep you posted about how the SSD works after a week or a month. And I'll see you on the next video. Please like the video, share it with your friends, comment what are the suggestions, what do we play, or what are the games that you want to see playing. We can have them installed and we can play, because we've got another 1 TB of space. So I'll see you on the next one.